Hello, Ray. How you doing today?
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it.
I really was looking forward to this conversation with you.
Very nice.
I know I met you the other day, and you seem like a very interesting fellow.
Well, very good. I appreciate you coming out. As I told you before, I was excited for the information that you gave me. As a homeowner, and it was time to put a 30-year-old plus door on the house, and I think my wife was going to be very happy too as well.
Yeah, the business was nice to do it with you, but when we started talking, I really was it perked up my ears. I really wanted to pick your brain on some of the issues and some of the stuff that you've been through.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
So
sure.
can we start with a little bit of kind of introducing yourself as with your credentials and who you are?
Absolutely. You know, I'm born and raised in the area, educated in the area, other than going away to school. Coming back into the community, going to school, I got a knack for coming back into the community that, in a sense, kind of took care of me, gave me a decent education, wanted to kind of give back. And so even though I almost tried to get employed in Los Angeles, opportunity was here in Ventura County. And so I ended up coming back and getting a job here and teaching in the high schools for about 40 years.
Wow. So were you born in Ventura County?
I was born in Ventura County. I was born in Oxnard.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a local here, and I've stayed here.
I mean, it's a beautiful area.
It's
you
gorgeous,
can't knock it.
Gorgeous area. The weather is like,
Yeah.
you know, we try not to tell too many people about that.
Oh, it's
right?
terrible. They don't want to come over here.
No.
But you got the beaches.
Oh,
You got the mountains. You got everything here.
like I always, when we talk to people, I always say, you know, this is the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
On one side, you have the ocean.
Yeah.
On the other side of the freeway, you have the mountains.
Yeah. It's
What more do you
beautiful.
want? It's gorgeous.
And then anywhere you drive to Santa Barbara, you drive to Malibu. It's that view is always spectacular.
Exactly. Not far from Santa Barbara at all.
Yeah.
Not far from Los Angeles. So,
Yeah. So did you do your schooling here in Ventura County also?
no, I left and I went to Los Angeles
Oh, so you stayed in Los Angeles for a while.
for a while, for about 5 years, 5.5 years, I think.
Was that during your which education did you get over
That
there?
was my undergrad there.
Okay.
My undergrad. It was at Northridge where I went.
North.
Yeah. When I applied to the university, it was either going to be UCSB or Northridge. And how I came to make that decision is whoever called first, that's where I was going to go.
And you ended up in Northridge.
I ended up in Northridge, and probably for a reason, you know, living here at a particular time, might have had maybe like 40,000 people here. So
Yeah.
going to a place like Los Angeles, it's almost like my eyes were like the size of 50-cent pieces. You know, it was like, wow, look at this place over here.
And it was a very drastic change. Remember what year that was?
That was 1973.
Ooh. You went out there when everything was like all the race relationships and
Everything was like that. Yeah.
It was a very tough tough place for
Yeah.
for minorities at that time.
A lot of protests, a lot of gunning for positions in departments. And at that time, Chicano Studies was building up to be almost like the second largest department in the university there.
Wow.
And at that time, they had 30,000+ students there. Little did I know, full-time, part-time, whatever. But the education I got there, as far as the valid issues of equality, social justice, really opened my eyes.
Was it a big culture shock when you went from Ventura County, lay back, relax, go to the beach once in a while, to freaking the mess of it all?
It was somewhat, especially with my peers, as I got to know them. You know, they were so city.
Yeah.
They were so city, and not so much, like you say, laid back, but they were so city, and it was like, you know, it was just kind of learning and hearing from them as how they saw things versus how I saw things.
So did they open your eyes to what really was going on in the whole nation at the time, or did you kind of come with a little bit of a lens when you got there to LA?
I think we collectively together jumped into the arena as we were learning, as things would come up, as the professors were opening what exactly was happening around either the university or the city, or racially and equality and education-wise for people of color.
Yeah. Was there 1970, 72, was there already like clubs that were like focusing on like Mecca or any of the Latino clubs that were getting built at the time? Or is that something that you kind of grew into as the time went by and doing your studies there in Northridge?
You know, when I got there, that program was already thriving.
So it was already good?
It was already
so it was
thriving.
a big deal in the area of LA?
It was a big deal. Big recruiters in the university, and their whole system and organization, okay, coming straight out of high school, you know, in preparation to a certain point, whether I was ready to get into that kind of learning or not.
Yeah.
Their support services were like number one in the nation. I mean,
Yeah.
their counseling, their focus on supporting students with taking the classes and setting them up for majors and so forth. They really had that program down. And of course, the classes in that department were like phenomenal. They were like content areas that we needed to know to support our learning as we traveled through the university system.
Was it set up in a way where it was complementary to growing up as a Hispanic in the area, as far as, you know, giving you the eyes of what's really going on, plus also giving you the support when you wanted to study a certain thing, kind of pushed you to kind of, you know, make your wings grow a little bit bigger so you can empower yourself and become something more than...
Absolutely. I mean, your eyes were open to the lectures and the information that was being presented in the classes that we took. And then a lot of the professors who initially started there and built that program there were always available to us, and they were just scholars who were continually doing the research and staying on top of things and presented it to us as students. And so, like you say, the word thriving, it was thriving.
Well, that's good. If they were, you know, showing you what's going on, but also empowering you, that's what you wanted them to do. I mean, I'm all for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you got to know them. They were accessible. They were approachable. Something that I learned as well, now that I'm also a professor at the university as well, at Cal State Channel Islands, being able to be of service and being available to your students, you know, and not just going in and going out, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand, and maybe they do, but you have to be a little bit older, kind of like us, where you understand where, you know, just you can spend, you know, 4 or 5 years with an individual and not change their perspective, but you spend those 10 seconds at the right time, it makes a life-changing events in their mind, and then they go through a better path.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important for mentors and professors and parents and stuff, you know, people that know, to be available and answer even the silliest questions, because those were sometimes the ones that shift the paradigm in some of the brains of the younger generation.
Agree.
Yeah. So when you went to Northridge, what was the path you wanted to pursue?
Well, you know, I'll share a quick story before I answer your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I get there and I park, and I'm looking for the dormitory on one side of the campus. The dormitories were way on the other side of the campus. And so I got my bag and a little kind of like a backpack. Mm-hmm. And so I'm walking. And so I see these people with signs. They were right there marching in front of the administration building. So I went to go ask, hey, do you know where so-and-so hall is, and so forth? And before they even answer me, he says, hey, are you coming here? Are you a student here? I go, yes, I am. He goes, put your bags over there. See that sign? Pick up that sign and get in that line.
Wow.
And that was my introduction to Northridge.
Welcome to Northridge.
Yeah, welcome to Northridge. And so, but it was all good. I was trying to figure out, okay, this is what's going on here. Okay, this is what's happening. So the whole time being in Northridge, it was a whole learning process. I mean, just learning how to navigate. You know, Northridge is so big that, you know, whenever you walked up to a counter because you wanted some service or something, it was never your name.
Right.
It was your student ID number.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is, give me your student ID number. So 734-6329. I still remember that
Yeah.
after all these years because that's what I was, a number. I wasn't Ray Tejada,
Yeah, it's kind of like military. There's a lot of Rays, but there's only one with that number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to get back to your question, I played with a couple of things. I looked at maybe law. I took a look at maybe the medical profession and so forth. So I kind of just traveled through my general education classes. I just got a little taste of what was going on and so forth. And as far as law is concerned, I was kind of getting away from that because I didn't want to be confined to that kind of environment. I'm kind of an outdoor guy and always been kind of like a mover, right? And so I decided, I'm going to get into this kinesiology. I'm going to get into this physical education, maybe this rehabilitation of injuries and so forth. And so I kind of followed that path. And it was interesting because, see, that department had a lot of history because that's one of the major incidents that occurred out of that department. There was a coach that mishandled a player of color in a very inappropriate way. And I guess it had been going on for a while, or the way they've been feeling. So that ignited that thing, and boom, it just went nuts. They took over the administration. It was crazy. And it came out of that physical education kinesiology department.
Oh, wow.
So when we were there might have been 5 or 6 of us of color. We were like moscas en leche. And so they always kind of, always kind of looked at us like that.
Yeah, what are you guys doing here? You guys don't belong here. Race tensions were really high in the 70s.
It was tough, man. It was really something.
A lot of the young people now, they don't see it anymore, which is great. That means we've come a long way. But at the 70s, 60s, oh my goodness, it was really bad.
Yeah. Even here in town, the high schools. Remember the high schools and the walkouts, and oh my God, the battling. That was the start of what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, it was a crazy times.
Yeah.
So you get into kinesiology. Did you get your doctorate in that, or did you get your doctorate in something else, or did you shift to something other? Field?
I got my doctorate later on. Ended up getting my my BA in kinesiology, physical education, with a minor in Chicano studies.
Nice.
Chicano studies. And so when I finished there, I had applied for the credential to be a teacher and decided, hey, I want to teach for a little bit. And, it just took forever. So when I came home, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try Cal Lutheran. So I got into Cal Lutheran, and I worked on my credential there and finished it in a year. And when I finished, I got hired as a coach and as a teacher.
So when you got hired as a coach, that your kinesiology studies really helped you with that?
That helped me. And so I couldn't really teach in the classes per se because all the PE coaches had PE, and there were all the veterans.
Oh, okay.
So I was a rookie. So
you had to wait for one of them to
I
retire.
had to wait. That's right. So they put me to teach math.
Oh, okay.
To teach math. And the reason they set that up is because during that time, there was no bilingual education.
Okay.
No English as a second language. No kind of support in English learning.
That's how I learned English.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I was sink or swim. I remember when I went into the school system, I was probably like trying to do the math in my head, probably 7 years old, 8 years old. And I think it was first grade. And they just got me in the class. They said, this is our new student. It's Alex Velasco. And I spoke no word of English. It was, I came from Mexico. So I was in the class and I was like, culture shock, 1,000%, because I didn't understand the language. I didn't understand anybody, the teachers. I didn't know what they were talking about. Because like you said, it was no bilingual classes, no bilingual tutors, nothing. And so it took me about 3 years to get caught up. And then after that, I just went, getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
I think it helped me because it kind of pushed me and it put me in a pressure cooker, which I thought was good. But I can relate to what you're saying. So they put you in the class and...
So they put me to teach math class because it's a universal language, right?
Right.
Besides, Mr. Tejada speaks Spanish anyway. But remember, we were getting Vietnamese, Iran. They had just assassinated the was it the Prince of Iran?
Yeah.
I remember they assassinated him. The Cuban people.
Yeah.
Castro had was letting people out. So I mean, we were. I mean, that class right there was so diverse. And before we even started moving that wand, I mean, it was so diverse, different languages, different cultures, different representations, and so forth. And so it was hard for me just to go to the board and deal with that, because there were so many places, and they come from different school systems that put emphasis on different type of learning when it comes to math.
Yeah.
So what I did is I assessed them all, and I found their strong points and their weak points. And so I went after both areas, where I set up a program, kind of almost like an independent study program within the classroom. And I would go to the board on occasion when there was a question, a particular problem. I would stop and bring their attention. When you get to this, or if you're doing this right now, this is how you should follow these steps. And that way I had a chance to walk around the classroom and basically connect with the student.
Yeah.
Bring that anxiety level, which I call the affective filter.
Well, yeah.
Lower that so they could learn and feel comfortable.
Yeah, because you can't learn if your shoulders are all tense all the time. You're just, and the whole world was that way. Right. It wasn't just race relationship. It was like the whole world, like you said, with Iran, what was happening with them, and also with the with Cuba. I think I believe Kennedy was the president at the time, and that was when the Bay of Pigs was happening. Or is that
a little bit later after that? Yeah.
A little bit later.
Yeah, but that started that whole thinking.
Yeah, we had the Cold War with Russia, so that was looming everywhere.
Yes,
it was some hectic times.
It was, but it was a good class. They were always on task. They were real good. Students wanted to learn, and so we worked hard Monday through Thursday.
Yeah,
and on Friday we partied.
Oh, absolutely.
Told them to bring their foods from their
so you
cultures.
You built community.
Built community. The classroom community. Absolutely.
That's where you're sitting with your friend, learning the same thing, and you're relating.
And understand everything that we do here in the States.
Yeah. That
may not work with other people in other places. Gestures, how we touch.
Yeah.
What we talk about. What was another thing that we do? Slang word, for example, and so that kind of thing was on my part as a teacher, was understanding exactly not to violate any kind of sensitivity that they brought to the classroom that they thought was inappropriate.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Did you ever notice any friction with the students or anything like that? Or was it mostly, when you saw that, was it mostly like misunderstanding? Like you said, different culture. When you translate a slang word to your native tongue, sometimes it sounds weird. Right. And it sounds like are you insulting me? What are you doing? Exactly. But it's not. No. It's just I'm trying to be your friend, and I'm trying to be, be funny.
They were very respectful. They were young, entering school in different parts of their education level as they came to the States to study, and they congregated there at the high school, and never stopped the fight, never an argument, nothing. I mean, they were there. They learned to respect one another and who they were and so forth. They learned from one another, and like I tell you, when we brought them together as communities, you said in the classroom, the food, the food's a big one, right? Yeah. And so we're just learning from one another. It was really, really incredible.
Food is just like math; it's universal. Good food is good anywhere, man.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
So, how many years did you stay in Cal Lutheran?
At Cal Lutheran, I was able to finish my credential in 1 year. Because I had my degree from Northridge.
Right.
Did my credential in a year, and then I got hired at Wainimi High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where I spent about 12 years teaching and coaching there.
Wow.
And then I moved over into more of the kind of counseling and administrating area.
Did you ever shift from math to your coaching?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, after teaching math for about, I think maybe 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And world history.
And world history is important.
Yeah, they had me all over the place before I was able to land in physical education. Yeah.
Was that your goal all the time, to land in physical education?
Yeah,
because like you said, you sound like you're a person that likes to be outdoors,
If anything I wanted to teach physical education.
Yeah.
Or work in the area of kinesiology, just the whole movement. Yeah. And so I finally got to do that. But, really learn to to support my patients in the classroom and learned how to really deliver good lessons, how to communicate with students, how to treat them, set up the relationship with them. And so, I became a pretty decent math teacher, even though I wasn't really into math. And of course, a sociologist or a history teacher in those disciplines and so forth.
Yeah.
But my heart was always with physical education. And then I got into, like I tell you, administration later on, and I did that for quite a long time. I was director of bilingual education.
Okay.
I worked with migrant education and all the different special programs that districts have, like your special ed, your emergency immigrant. All these programs that get funded differently. So I was kind of in charge of those, your Title I programs, in charge of that. And then after that, I kind of just got tired of that, and they opened up a school for at-risk students. And so I went over there and did that for about 3 years, and then went into independent study.
That wasn't in Port Hueneme? That was in the at-risk students. Where was that?
It was Port Hueneme.
It was Port Hueneme?
It was the Oxnard Union High School district.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was right behind Channel Lions High School.
Okay.
The old ag property they used to have there. Remember they had the animals back there?
Yeah, I went to Channel Islands High School.
Oh, so you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's
And
right.
there was like where they taught you how to grow plants and stuff.
Yeah.
In the back. That's where that school was?
Yes, that's where the school was.
Oh, wow.
So they discontinued those programs, and they brought in this at-risk school to
Nice.
recover the students and get them back into their home schools.
Yeah. Was that a new program that the state was trying out? Or?
Yeah, it was what they referred to as a community day high school.
Yeah. Do you remember what year that was around?
Oh,
Sorry to put you on the
No.
spot. You can always say no, and we can move on.
not quite. No, I don't remember. I can't remember. No.
Was it before the education department was done in I believe it was 1982 when the Carter administration?
Oh no, it was way after that.
Way after that?
Yeah,
Okay. So it was okay.
Yeah.
So the Department of Education was part of your setup. I'm just trying to wonder if that program was something that came down from the federal government or it was a state thing that they did.
It has some funding, but it was mostly state.
Okay.
The state was after recovering the ADA, the attendance of the students and so forth.
Okay.
So instead of incarcerate these kids or
Well,
put them in juvenile hall, let's start this program here and see if we can rehabilitate these kids and maybe get them back to school.
yeah, absolutely. Try not to give up on the kids.
But they lost the funding, I think, after 5 years.
Okay.
And then
Was it not working, or was they just wanted to divert the funds to something else?
It was just the funding. They didn't have the fund to continue supporting it, so they let it go. They moved the special education program into that area, and then we were at that. So as I saw that coming down the line, I should share this with you.
Yeah.
It comes down the line that they're going to close this because of funding. Where are we going to go? And I was a union steward at the time, union rep, so I was watching out to make sure that the teachers were being taken care of as far as their job is concerned. So I would say that most of them went back to the high schools, open spots, and I think there was like 2 or 3 of us. And I should back up a little bit because in that movement, I had talked to the president of Oxnard College at the time, Mr. Duran, and then our superintendent, I think it was Carter at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I told him, we really should turn our independent study program into a dual enrollment, and we should place it at Oxnard College. So while they're working on the diploma, they can also take classes.
That makes total sense.
Well, we were the last of the Mohicans because Ventura had been doing that already with El Camino High School.
They were doing that?
Yes, and Moore Park had been doing it in the math and science areas. So I said, you know what, give us a shot. You get enrollment. Oxnard College gets enrollment. Yeah. And then our students are now positioning themselves. They're at the college, success, finishing their high school diploma, and possibly getting an AA degree at the same time.
So that was kind of like a partnership that you're trying to work out with the high schools and the college to kind of get the students to kind of merge into. I remember that, that now that you mentioned that, I remember taking, I don't know if this has anything to do with it. You can tell me yes or no, but I remember going to high school and getting college credits.
That's right.
When some of the classes that I was taking.
Yeah, it wasn't new. It wasn't a program in force, but the opportunity for you or students to go and take classes while you're still in high school was there.
Well, it gives you a little carrot to follow, because I already have the credits. I might as well go to the college or the university and get my education,
Absolutely.
And if you don't have that, sometimes, hey, go to work, get a job, go buy a car, and you go to a different path.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. So that's a program that sounds like it was working pretty good.
It was a good program, but my time, as far as my seniority, and not that I had to do it, but it would just, it makes sense in our longevity when it comes to moving toward retirement or being pension and so forth. I hit that age that teachers hit, like 61 and a half or 62, and that's the time when a lot of teachers actually, pull the plug and retire. Yeah. And alongside that, I had been real active at Cal State Channel Islands, and I was getting more classes there, and the time frame just wasn't working out. So it was perfect timing for me to leave the high schools after 40 years. Yeah. And then continue over at Cal State Channel Islands, which I've been there, 23 years now. What
do you do there at Cal State Channel Islands?
I teach motor learning, fitness, and development.
Oh, nice.
Kinesiology class, and I teach the leadership capstone to the graduating seniors in the liberal studies department.
Wow.
And they're good classes.
It looks like you're pretty young still. I mean,
well, I'm 69 years old. Yeah, 69 young, yeah.
Yeah, but you still look, you have energy.
I do.
You have a drive.
I do.
When I met you the first time, I could notice it right away because, when you talk to somebody, they're either low energy or high energy. Right. And when you're passionate about what you do, it shows. Yeah. I saw that right away, when I saw you. I go, Ray, I like that.
Good support system. I have a great wife, educated herself, early child development program. She worked with the students there in the laboratory school and so forth. And, I've learned and picked things from her that I've been able to incorporate into my classes as well. Yeah. And she's an expert. She would be one that we should have right here because it's phenomenal, the information that this woman has.
Oh, I'd love to pick her brain.
Really.
We can get a lot of information out,
And she's supportive. Uh-huh. She just retired a few years back now, and she still has a lot of energy too. She's kind of like myself too. She's she can, once she gets into her craft, she can get into it.
When you're passionate about something, it shows.
It shows.
You bring the energy out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been there at the university where you work now?
23 years. I got called to teach a PE class Saturday mornings. When it's just first opened up, it was still kind of.
I was going to say you got there right when it opened up.
Yeah, it was still the hospital. There weren't very many classes.
They had like one or two buildings dedicated to studies.
Yeah, they had like the bell tower area right there, and so my class was in the chapel, the old church.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's where I taught the class.
Yeah, one of my nieces, she was the first graduate from that.
Oh, first class, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Not that many.
Not that many.
You can fit them all in one picture.
That's right. That's right. That's right. They do a phenomenal job with that graduation ceremony, though.
And now you go, and it's a full-blown university with a
No, it's.
I mean, the buildings look amazing. Yeah. I love the way it looks because it's that old Spanish style look, and it's all the grass is green, and the students look all happy. They're going around.
Oh, yeah,
it's a very nice place to learn.
My understanding is that they keep the university looking in that architectural fashion.
Yeah, well, they're doing a good job
with I think with state and public money.
Yeah.
Any donors or private money, they can basically design the building unnecessarily that looks like what we have already in its structure. Uh-huh. Like the library. Have you ever seen the library?
No, I've never been to the library.
The library looks like a big gigantic spaceship.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like what's it? Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
Wow.
Yeah, but that was because it's private money. That was a donor.
Did he believe in UFOs or what?
I don't know, but when you walk up to, when you ever get a chance to see it, or you look it up on the website, you'll see.
I'll stop by one of these days when I'm driving by there.
Beautiful.
And take a look at it.
Beautiful library, though. It's just packed up in there windows up on the top where you can see the mountains, so forth. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's cool. Do you have plans to continue your working there at the university for a couple more years, 10 years, 15 years? What's your plan? Or you just go one day at a time?
As much as I like it, and keeps me active, I'm still focused. I still have juice, like you said.
Yeah.
I can still walk across campus without getting tired. And so, just 1 year at a time, and we'll see how it goes,
Yeah. Switching the subject a little bit, back to the 70s and 60s where all the race relationships were like everybody was on pins and needles. How do you see the progression to where we are now? I know we're not 100% there yet with the racism and minorities being looked at a little bit different, but I think we're pretty close. I mean, maybe it's just me being naive, but what is your feeling on that?
We're being challenged in all those capacities that we've fought for, and people that died in that war of equality, and having students be given an education that they deserve. And so through these recent times, I guess, the political times, all those areas have been brought up and tested, where they've tried to take away all the stuff that we all as people of color fought for to put in place, so that we can continue being educated and given a fair shake of what we're all about. After all, we were the first ones here.
Yeah.
You and I were on that mountaintop when we saw that ship coming in, and those people were sick and dying. And what did? We went to go help them. We gave them medicine. We gave them food.
Yeah.
But they wiped us off the planet, didn't they?
Well, they had guns.
Yeah, they did.
We didn't have guns.
No.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of not of an even fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much more do you think we have to get to where it's going
to be ongoing? I don't know if there's a cure for that.
Yeah.
The difference, understanding differences is a big challenge.
Yeah.
The whole fight to be diverse, and now coming to the arena where they want to wipe diversity out, diversity officers out. I did a stint for about 5 years at the Ventura County Government Center. Mm-hmm. I was a consultant in diversity.
Okay.
They needed to kind of clean that up a little bit, because it was kind of not fair. Too many lawsuits, and they wanted to cut down on all the stuff that just wasn't working. So I was able to go over there and work with the administration and kind of bring some kind of accountability to the picture. Uh-huh. And so I did that for about 5 years, and I thought that was enough for me. And it, you can see that things were being tested, and things were being brought out and opened. And, I'm sure there was a lot of people that didn't like that, but they're being accountable,
That's a good thing. Accountability is important.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our politicians, sometimes they try to put wedges on people, so they exaggerate the things that are happening. They exaggerate things that are not happening to help their political view.
Yes.
And I think it clouds it. Yeah. I think it makes it a little bit worse. It puts us up against each other,
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we have to be smart enough to see over that, I think. And because if you follow what's happening on the internet or on the news and everything, you think everybody's fighting with each other.
Right.
But when you're out there in the real world, everybody's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed it. I never seen anybody speaking behind my back or anything. Mm-hmm. And if they do, they're not that many.
Yeah.
It's just people that are intellectually challenged. And you just move on. They're just bad people. So I think we need to learn how to see past all that smoke and work towards a more equal opportunity, so that we can all flourish, and not say that somebody else is holding me back.
Oh, absolutely, and not forget the people that came from behind us.
Absolutely,
to push where we're at.
Yeah,
we have to make our youth today understand that you're not here because you just showed up. There's a lot of people that paved the way here, and I think sometimes that's kind of like forgotten, or it's not emphasized, or this should be known that there's people that helped build this thing here, and in a sense somehow you should continue that, in one kind of fashion or another.
Yeah, this weekend, our president was over celebrating the Normandy thing. So similar to what you're talking about, not forgetting the people that sacrifice for what we have.
Right.
That's a big battle that all people in the United States should, be happy that they did it, and be gracious enough to give them the respect that they deserve.
Absolutely.
But same thing with our people that fought for equality, that sacrificed, that held hands while, they were throwing all kinds of crap to them.
That's right.
And
That's
so
exactly right.
we have to keep pushing to get to a better place. Do you think that it's good enough so we can start telling our raza, our people, our Hispanics, our brown people, to don't forget where we came from and the racism that we saw, but push forward, because the road ahead is going to be much nicer if you don't have any weights holding you back thinking that the system's rigged or something. Forget about the system being rigged and just focus on empowering yourself to be better, and work against the system that's holding you back and make it better for the next person coming up.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, in that comes unity, right?
Yes.
Unity is so important, and a lot of times, even within our own cultures or cultures that connect to us as being Latinos and so forth, we can always be pulled away. We have different philosophies, because of different struggles.
Right.
Different struggles. The way the Puerto Ricans see their politics, the way the Cubans see their politics, and the way the Chicanos see their politics, and somehow sometimes I think we're all in different areas, and we got. Think about if we came all together.
Oh, my goodness.
Numbers, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Our politicians would never have a chance.
No, that's right.
They would be forced to do the right thing.
That's right.
Instead of trying to put wedges in between us.
That's correct. Yeah.
You start getting into these identity politics, it doesn't work for anybody.
No.
And that's what the politicians want. They want to, what is the saying? Divide and conquer, right?
Divide and conquer.
So if this niche is against this niche, then I can deal with little niches. But if they all unite it with one message of equality and having the resources for everybody to strive, game over, buddy.
And it's right in front of our face, because we see it in Washington.
Yeah.
We got two sides going at each other.
Yeah.
And our country is like trying to stay afloat, but we got this whole thing going on and everything, and that's not the way it was. 80 years ago when they pulled that battle together and that victory they got.
We were united back then.
Yeah, we were,
because we had one goal to fix it, and that's how like you said, back to unity. That's the biggest thing.
That's it, man. You got to work on that, and it's always a challenge.
Are you still kind of focusing on race relationships right now, or are you kind of just sticking to the teaching of the?
Right now, because being involved in LULAC for so many years. And
what is that? I'm sorry.
LULAC stands for League of United Latin American Citizens.
Okay.
And it came out of Texas, because it was real bad in Texas. So real bad back in the day, right? I think LULAC might be about maybe 85, 90-year-old organization.
Wow.
And
are they nationwide, and every state has a chapter?
Sure, they're worldwide. I think.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Wow.
Worldwide. I think even in some countries that have Latino representation, I think they try to see how they can help and organize groups in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, but through that, we did that for many years and so forth, and so I'm a member, so I just kind of scaled back, because the young people now, they gotta push it forward, because us seasoned people, we could just sit back and all that, but it's the same ones all the time. So we got to get the youth in front of that, so they can push that envelope, because they're starting to feel. I think some of the things that maybe are not so just.
Well, yeah. Well, with every trip, you go 3 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
We're in a back step right now, perhaps. Especially in an election year.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything gets you turn up the heat, and then because they want to get elected, either the right side or the left side, and so. Sounds like you're hoping for a baton to get passed to the next generation to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
Do you see a couple of young leaders that are coming up that are willing to do something like that, or do you think people are focused on other things right now?
It's really strange. The pandemic kind of really
put a wrench on everything, huh?
Yeah, just kind of just split us all over the place. And so that organization, that preparation that we had had prior to that, it kind of just went all over the place, and it changed, and it really isolated people. And so I don't know where they're at in coming together as groups or as a force in the community. I know that I happen to be a board on the Oxnard Police Department Chiefs Advisory Board, so I'm part of that. And the reason I was part of that was because I was doing community and I was doing LULAC stuff.
Yeah.
So, they wanted to have that representation of community there because, police officers basically want to be good people. They want to be policing the community. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're partners rather than when it comes to uniform, they're going to come and get us.
Yeah.
And so that's what we tried to do with LULAC during that time that we were involved in working with all the different police services and so forth.
Yeah, that's very cool. The as far as the COVID thing that happened with the way our whole economy just kind of stopped at a standstill, I noticed it with business. I noticed it with inventory. You noticed it with your mentors coming up, your students and stuff. I noticed it with family a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're Mexicans, so we like to party. We like to do carne asadas. We like to barbecue. We like to watch the soccer. We like to watch the football, the basketball. Right. And so every weekend it's an excuse to go to somebody's house and throw the carne asada and have the tacos. And before COVID, that was a weekly thing that we all looked forward to doing. Oh, we're going to go to my tio's house today. Oh, we're going to go to my aunt's house today. Right. And so after COVID, they stopped all that, which was crazy. But now it's coming back, but not at the same rate as it was before COVID. Right. And I think that dynamics in the family that's getting back like that slowly, you kind of see it with everything. You see it probably with the outreach programs, with the involvement from students. Yeah. They're kind of getting back into the feel of it. Yeah. Because it was like a good 2 years just lost. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy years.
And it was interesting too because, being at home and teaching online, the kids maybe at first was okay, but after a while they got zoomed out, they didn't like the Zoom anymore. They missed the face-to-face. Yeah. There are some students who like that because of maybe their situation or whatever it is, where they prefer maybe they're traveling, whatever it is. But the majority of the students wanted the face-to-face. And so we tried to give them a little bit of both, the face-to-face, and on some instances maybe we'll do online lesson or whatever it is. Yeah. So we tried to find it, but they came back. It came back not strong. They came back really gung shy.
Gingerly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. The classroom environment. You saw it at work too. People working in offices and stuff. When you're at a place of work, your mind is switched to work. Right. When you're at a school, your mind is switched to learn. Right. If you're at home staring at a computer, you have so many distractions. Yeah. You have what's going on outside. The trash is getting picked up, so there's a noise. Yeah. You got the TV on, even if the volume's down, you're kind of doing the little eyes looking back and forth. That's right. So all those distractions take away from your focus. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I guess you can say there's a fine line. If a student really wants to learn, he could be hyper-focused on the lesson because he wants to learn it. Right. But for most students that are just, taking the remedial classes or they're just to get the degree without really having a lot of wanting to learn it, it was probably difficult for them to have the attention span to learn the lesson.
And, we look at the different learning styles, right? How they learn. The ones that learn visually, and the ones that learn auditorily, and the ones that need kinesthetically, the ones that always got sent to the principal's office because they couldn't sit still. Yeah. But while they were moving, they were learning. Okay. Yeah. And so you try to find all that together and try to put them together and have them understand a lesson as to how they learn. Yeah. And so that's the challenge there.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, but there's some kids that you give them the textbook so they can do the homework and then they won't do it. But you give them a little ball so they can play with it, or give them the pencil they can twirl, and it freaking gets done.
Absolutely.
That motor skill kind of clicks something in their brain that makes them learn.
That's it. And that's why early childhood education is so important, man. That's that foundation where they get it as they're learning, and in this country, we're really worried about speeding up the reading and the writing and the math.
Yeah.
Hey, our kids are smart. They're going to get that. But what they need is that foundation of that social emotional. That social emotional success is going to push them forward. For them, like you say, the creativity that you find yourself to be, a creative creator.
Yeah.
Students find their way through the whole development process of being exposed to different things.
Yeah.
Because they're soon going to get into the system, the elementary part about it, and they're going to just fire the reading and the writing and the math and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm not educated. I mean, I have a high school diploma, and that's it. I did a couple of years in college. But what I see, and I don't know if I'm, talking out of my left ear or something, but I say that our teachers and our administrators that do the curriculums on the first couple of years of a student that's getting into class, like kindergarten, first grade, up to the third, fourth, fifth grade, they need to focus on teaching them how to fish, teach them the skills. This is how you take notes. This is this is how you read, and just teach them, like you said, do a strong foundation, and then do the math and the reading and everything, in the later grades, after fourth grade, after they have the skills to know how to pay attention, how to take notes, how to comprehend written word to translate it into their brain and make it make sense. Because a lot of kids, they don't learn that. No. They're in the 12th grade, going into college, and they don't know how to take notes.
Oh, no, that's it.
They don't know how to comprehend a book. They can read it. They can sit here and read it, at a very proficient level. But then you ask them a question about it, they don't retain it,
right?
Because they never got the skills to learn how to do that.
That's right.
Have you heard of them doing that, or is that how they do it, and I just missed it, or what is it?
I worked with a lot of those students that didn't get that development foundation, that social emotional that they need, that balance to bring them into success and school success, feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
How is it they treat others, right? That whole development process. Because by the time I got them later in the grades, man, we're still dealing with how to read, how to write, and how to compute.
So you have to erase everything and start all over.
Man, it's like they're just all over the place.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of students that parents go off to work. They got to go make the buck and put food on the table.
Yeah.
Kids are still at home. So they may go to school, or they may stay there and play the video games.
Yeah.
And never knew what's happening. By the time we get those kids, and we used to get like a handful of kids who had 0 high school credits.
Wow.
And they never went to school. So now they're sophomores, 0 credit. How are we going to get them to finish? Because they didn't go to school, and they just stayed on the computer playing the games.
Yeah.
So that happens. That's why that social emotional is important, because it does, how would I say, build a hunger and a thirst to learn, because they feel good about themselves. They feel good that they relate to others, that they don't go hit somebody because they know how to use their words.
Right.
And so putting that whole package together progresses them,
So you got to give them the spine to know that they're worth something.
That's it.
And they're part of a clan.
That's it.
The learning clan.
That's it.
And so by doing that, you're making them accountable to the clan.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be dumber than my buddy here that,
That's right.
I want to keep up with him because he's my friend. I have to do whatever he says.
That's right.
Yeah, that is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray, thank you so much for coming down.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. It was
This
great.
is one of many, I hope.
Okay.
And then later on, we'll dig a little bit deeper into some of these difficult subjects. And is there anything you want to part with? Or?
Not at all. Not at all. Just kudos to you for, putting a dialogue, bringing community people, business people, educators. People from all professions that can come on and dialogue and put information out where people can maybe access that. Yeah. And get a little something out of it.
Yeah, get a little gold nugget out of it,
Absolutely.
It helps me, helps people that are listening, It helps you. So I think it helps everybody. I think dialogue is good.
Yeah, no,
We should always keep talking.
this is fantastic. This is the start of something new.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.